morning. I finally got back outside for a little while. Woke up early enough, and yeah, it's really nice out here right now. So brought my oracle and tarot deck out here to go ahead and get a little bit of information. So yeah, my cards are pre-shuffled. I was shuffling them, and reminded me of, and not just pre-shuffled, but like I kind of like said a prayer, like made a prayer intention, invitation for the inspiration to come through and to be led during this. And I pretty much, I always do that, but maybe you didn't see it on camera before, but and it was reminding me, so the cards, this reading has been pre-blessed. Remember that YouTube video a long time ago with the pre-blessed food? That, so funny. I love that video. But anyway, so fun. But yeah, so this reading is pre-blessed. Okay, pre-blessed and pre-shuffled, and actually one card of the tarot deck fell out, and I decided to set it aside, and I will use that. We'll just see what comes out of the oracle cards first, and then we'll pair it with that tarot card. Anyway, so I don't have any message in mind. I'm waiting on that inspiration of maybe it'll come from the cards, maybe I'll get it in a minute, but I usually have some sort of inspiration that will just come to me, and then also throughout the reading. Sometimes it starts before I get the card out. So oh my gosh, can you believe it? In my last reading I did, this card came out. And you know what? I have actually since read the what it said in the book in here. But I still feel like the message I gave about listening to those whispers, those intuitive whispers that come into your mind and your heart, and they come from source, like that is like so important. And that's what I'm doing right in this moment. I am open to receiving inspiration from God, from source, and for myself and for anybody listening. I'm open to receiving any of that. To inspire, to just help us along, and anything anything on my channel, anything in my readings, anything at all that I share, it is with that intention of maybe saying something or sparking some sort of inspiration within you to somehow help you to see something that maybe you weren't seeing. You know, I'm gonna talk about this. I am gonna talk about this. When when I was going to church, and I have been a very faithful member of a religion for like pretty much my whole life, and very devout, beautiful bird, very devout member, and we would have opportunity formally to go to the pulpit on once a month on Sunday, to go to up to the pulpit and to give testimony of your testimony of your belief, your truth, founded in God, in Jesus Christ, in all of that. And so I say formally because that's in front of the whole congregation, but there are many other times that we all do this. This is a natural thing. Like, we all do, maybe not talk about God, but like, we all give our truths, our testimonies of things. A lot of times it's through our actions, but the way we live our lives. But the other times when we like express ourselves and express our truths, that's a testimony, right? Like, you are telling what is true for you. Okay? And so like within my religious upbringing, there were many opportunities for that, not just the once a month in front of the whole congregation, which I did do quite a bit of that, and then but also during like Sunday school lessons or other group settings, or even just like visiting people like one-on-one or two-on-one, or like visiting people or interacting with others. There were always opportunities to share truth and to share inspiration, and also to receive that, because I've been on both ends of it many times. And from what I remember, and it happens outside of church too. It happened for me pretty much everywhere, where somebody might say something in a talk or in their testimony or in a lesson or in a conversation, in or outside of the religious setting, or I could just be watching TV or a movie or reading a book or reading my scriptures. I mean, it could be anything. Just casually talking to somebody, and they're not actually actively trying to give their testimony, but there's something that testifies to me, like, yes, that's true, and it just like lights me up, and I recognize it as truth, right? And that still happens to me even outside of the religious setting, which it was happening even when I was in the religious setting, okay? This is just how I experience truth. And I don't know, I have a feeling it's very similar for all of us, that we do experience truth in these ways. And yeah. Why am I talking about this? I guess because this card once again showed up, and it's talking about whispers of the ocean, and I was saying that, and I was talking at the beginning, I was talking about how I try to bring in that spirit of inspiration and truth, and divine direction, divine, like God, right? Source. I try to align and like be in that receiving and either receiving energy, so that I can receive the message, the information that I need, and that maybe someone else can also participate and receive through me, because that's what we do for each other, whether you're religious or not religious. That is what's happening in all aspects of our lives. When we interact with one another, we are, when we are sharing truth, our truth and universal truth, that's what's happening. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna pull another oracle card. So I do feel like whatever I'm sharing is an opportunity for someone who's listening, and even for myself, to have confirmation of truth. So, and you can receive this anytime for yourself. You don't have to have anyone else around you. Like, you can receive it when you're alone. You don't have to have anyone else. You don't need a middleman. Just put it that way. You don't need a middleman. All right, here's a beautiful card. This is 34, the tranquil place. 34. It's a 7 again. Number 7 is like, it wants to come out, and it's like 7 reminds me of abundance and I don't know, peace and abundance. Well, and then this card, is saying the tranquil place. She's like so content sitting on her rock next to her sea dragon, that is like, she feels, it looks like she feels very content and safe and grounded in her, like she knows who she is. She knows she's protected. She knows that she has within reach somebody, that dragon next to her is watching out for her, right? And she knows she's divinely protected, and we all are. We are divinely protected, and even during the things that we would consider not desirable, things that we're going through that we don't want to go through, that we feel are painful in some way, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, whatever, like any form of pain or discomfort that we're going through, even though we're experiencing that, we are divinely protected. And it's for our good, and we don't always see it that way, but there's lessons being learned through that process. And that's what I'm still learning, with these health battles that I'm going through. But the tranquil place, I want to say that you need to have places. It doesn't have to be places, physical places. It helps if you can. Places where you can retreat, where you can catch your breath, where you can be still and you can just center yourself and take a breather, reset your nervous system, reset your energy, reset your mind, right? Your mindset. Realign yourself with truth, with God, with Source, with your higher self. Realign, recenter, step back, big picture, looking over your life and reevaluating, and going within and you need those retreats, those and those moments of time where you step out of life for a few minutes, every day we need this every day. Like meditation. Some people meditate, some people pray, some people study their scriptures or inspired books, messages and books and stuff. And but we all need that. We all need something. Some people go into nature and they got interrupted. My alarm went off, but so some people go into nature and that's their retreat, and they commune with nature, with the universe, with God. So any of those things, will support you in this, this stepping out of that energy of life, of the chaos and the movement and all of that stuff, because you need those quiet moments. A lot of times that's when the whispers come, is during those quiet moments. You get more clarity, you can hear the messages better, right? You can also hear them when you're in the chaos. If you practice doing that, you can if you practice having yourself aligned and waiting for those messages to come through to you, and being open to receiving them at all times, and being centered in your energy, like you can actually pick up on those messages no matter what's going on. So okay, with the the card that came out earlier with the tarot that flew out of the deck, with this card, we have this 5 of Cups. Okay, and you have this mermaid on the shore. There's a lighthouse in the background with a little village, right? And there's a you know what? I don't even think she's a mermaid. She might not even be a mermaid, or she's just out of the water, and while she's out of the water, she has legs. I don't know. But in this picture, it doesn't look like a mermaid. It looks like a human figure, and she looks almost like her dress or covering has been ripped and tattered. Her hair is wet. It's like she's been in the ocean. Maybe she was on a boat, and maybe some sort of accident happened or whatever, and she had to swim to shore. I don't know. Or maybe this seal looks like a harbor seal or something. Maybe it helped her, and she's giving a warm hug, thanking this animal coming to her assistance. This is all me guessing, right? But like, possibly, I mean, in this card, it's also, there's an animal in here giving assistance with its presence, with its protection, being there with the mermaid. And in this, it looks like it's at night. It's got the lighthouse there, and the one that came to her assistance was nature, through nature. And like we have stories even in the Bible where animals have assisted, right? I know, like, at first it seems like in the story of Jonah and the whale, like at first it seems like the whale isn't helping, or the whale, I don't know, it never said whale, it said big fish, so I don't know. Whales aren't, anyway, let's just say big fish, or Jonah goes in the belly of the fish, and he's there, and at first it's like, when you think of that story, you think that the animal's not helping it, that it's eating it, right? But actually, in that story, Jonah received that respite, that tranquil place, although it wasn't much of a tranquil place, right? Sometimes our tranquil places don't feel tranquil, especially if you're going through like a dark night of the soul, and you're going inward and examining everything inside, and like you're having one of those moments where, or not just moments, but like, you're having a whole soul transformation happening, and like it doesn't feel tranquil, right? It feels like your world is falling apart. Well, like with Jonah, I'm sure he was feeling a little bit of that, but he once he was spit out on the beach, when we look at that story, really he was divinely protected, right? he was redirected to where he needed to be, or where God wanted him to be. That's how the story goes, where he was given a task to do, but he didn't want to do it. And I'm not saying that you have to do things that other people expect you to do. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm using this story solely for the purpose of telling you that, like, sometimes divine intervention, redirection does not feel divine, does not feel like protection. It feels very much like destruction, and like, what the heck is happening in my life, right? It may not feel like divine protection. But when you get through it, and then you get to the other side of it, and then you can reflect and look back, you can see that you actually were divinely protected, like Jonah, and redirected into a path that was meant for you to be on, so that you could experience the things that you needed to experience, so you could continue to learn and grow. Okay, so don't be afraid of those moments, those experiences in life where it feels like the world's falling apart, and you feel like you're dying inside, right? Surrender to God, source, universe. Surrender, and tune in and look for those whispers, and the direction, the inspiration, the intuitive messages. Listen for those at all times. And in this card here, we have the five cups, right? See, and she's grateful. She is grateful to. She's grateful to this this animal who came to her and helped her when she needed it. She's thanking it, and I think that's what we need to do too. We need to thank. We need to live in gratitude, even for the difficult things that we go through. Okay, so there's 5 cups. There's 3 down here that have, they're not upright. There's 2 here that are upright. And so suggesting that although there's 3 cups that maybe have been spilled over and it doesn't feel good, there's still 2 cups. So that famous thing we all experience all the time, where you take a few steps forward, right? And then something happens, and then you take a couple steps back. So really you only got 1 step ahead. Yeah. That is a definite pattern in life. And that's what I'm seeing here, is like, she took these 5 steps, right? And now she's 3 steps behind where she was. But she's okay. She's advanced a couple steps ahead, and there's still light. There's still hope. There's still hope, and you just keep doing it again and again. Take a few steps Yes, there'll be a little bit of setback. You know, it's just natural that things happen that way. But if you find your tranquil place within yourself, then you can recenter yourself, and you can also allow yourself to be redirected. And with that redirection, continually like recenter yourself and know that you are okay, that everything is going to be okay, even if it doesn't feel or look like that. So anyway, these are beautiful, beautiful images. I love them so much. And here's the other one. Yeah, listen to the whispers. And I hope that you have more of the forward moving, happy, exciting kind of experiences, and I think that those are coming. At least for me, I know they're coming. Right now I'm kind of in a setback, but that's okay. You know, and I just took a 10-day trip, and that was like the 3 steps forward. And then right now, since I got home, I've been in the 2 steps back. But I know that this pattern will, I will be able to go back to taking more steps forward. I know that. And I know that you will too. And that collectively, you know, like in our world, we're going to see that as well. And anyway, that's what I see. And that's the message that is coming to me. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Bye.